Facts. For earnings, which companies are on the board as far as highly anticipated?
Uh,
Troy, you want to go through the earnings and we go
yeah,
through one
I'll
by
I'll
one?
go through the ones that we've talked about, are in the portfolio. Excited about. Um, we got Uber tomorrow before opening.
Love long term. Uber
My.
underrated.
Uber,
Uber love
if you
love.
listen to Jensen last week talk about his partnerships, Uber was one of the companies that he spoke about, and Stellantis, and talks in autonomous driving and vehicles.
Hmm.
Love Uber. We did a whole segment on Uber here on Market Mondays. Excited
Hmm.
about that tomorrow. Before on Shopify is tomorrow morning as well. Spotify as well. Pfizer. We got AMD tomorrow after close. Y'all already know. I mean,
Yeah.
we're pretty well established. I
Shopify.
know.
I mean Spotify. Excuse me.
Yeah. Arista Networks will be reporting in the portfolio. Supermicro is reporting
Yeah.
tomorrow as well. I would say Beyond Meat, but I hope. I mean, let's skip that
I
one.
don't care what they're doing. Earnings. That sector is over with.
Yeah. We got Robinhood on Wednesday, which is
Love. Absolutely love.
it was the one that got away this year. App Lovin', which is in one of the ETFs we've been talking about. And McDonald's is tomorrow. So when we're talking about,
Amazing.
yeah, Qualcomm. Qualcomm had that big announcement, and we covered it last week. They're reporting as well. ARM. So we got this is like that second tier of AI
Hmm.
when we're talking about ARM and we're talking about Qualcomm. And then we got
Can,
on.
can we talk about who's going to be negatively affected in earnings by AI and Duolingo? I don't care how much compute and how much tokens y'all use. It's over with. Apple, if Apple and OpenAI is a competitor, wrap the business up, bro. I love y'all over there, but
Gonna be tough.
stock wise,
Gonna be tough.
long term, not good.
Thursday is another one that we talked about actually at our last event, mastermind event in January, which was Feature Energy. So we talked about Arista, they're reporting this week. Then we talked about Celestica, which had it at a blow away quarter. But we talked about Vistra as well. They report Thursday before opening. Another one of these energy plays that I think is going to be prominent. So definitely a big week. But I'm most excited obviously about Tuesday. I really want to see how AMD reports, so to see how we're going to be moving forward. Maybe we got to add some more stacks to it.
Yeah, Datadog is also Thursday.
Yep.
Iris, Open Door. They're trying to build a little army like Sailor has built over there as well. I'm interested to see what they'll do. But yeah, Uber would do great long term for sure. McDonald's is still strong. Um, yeah, it's been a great year. It's been a great year of earnings and performance in the stock market. So much so Nasdaq on a 7-month win streak.
Yeah. You know
Hmm.
what? There's a company here too that we don't. I feel like we might have talked about them on the second episode of Earn Your Leisure, which is Snapchat.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They're reporting on Wednesday after closing. I'm interested in how they report for a couple of reasons, but the number one reason is that I watched the CEO speak last week in Saudi Arabia,
Hmm.
and he was pretty convicted on the story of how Snap has evolved, and its second largest market is Saudi Arabia,
Hmm.
which was unbeknownst to me. So I had to do a little bit of research on that and how they're expanding the segment that they're expanding in, the tools that they're using, the fact that they're about to hit. I think they're about to cross over 1 billion monthly users. When most times when we talk about social media, we're talking about Meta with WhatsApp and Instagram, and we're talking about TikTok. But Snap, 1 billion users is a lot of users for a company that's trading, I think, maybe at $8. There's something going on over there that I got to keep doing a little bit more research on. But
You
something's
mean a
going
long term or in terms of a trade?
on. I feel like maybe at some point with the platform that they've built, the amount of users that they have, the international expansion, somebody's coming for that.
To buy it?
I, I feel like it's a valuable asset,
Yeah.
especially in
The move
the
that they're
sector that
making
they're
over
in.
there.
Something right? Like when
Hmm.
you start seeing things like that, I'm like,
Especially with everybody going over there to figure out a deal. Meta can't pick them
and
up. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just keep an eye on it.
Well, let's play.
Keep an eye on it.
Rashad, if you were the CEO of Snapchat, who would you be looking to offload the company to or sell to?
I just don't see the value in it. I mean, I feel like if Saudi Arabia is the second biggest market, I don't know how that's beneficial. Saudi Arabia has 48th, ranks 48th in the world's population.
What about in terms of power, though?
And capital. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as kids still use Snapchat. People make money on Snapchat. It's never really died. It stayed around. But as far as relevancy is concerned, I don't see what they do that Instagram doesn't do, or Twitter or TikTok. I don't see their competitive advantage. They're there, but I wouldn't see a need to acquire Snapchat if I was TikTok or Meta.
So here's, I think you kind of said maybe one of those points that makes it attractive is that you said kids use it, right? And so that means that your population stays young, and it maybe can continue to stay young because you always have a demographic. It's like when we thought about Facebook maybe 15 years ago, there was a population that was there. And now if you go to Facebook, it feels like that's where your grandparents live. At what point does Instagram become that, whereas TikTok has become for a younger audience?
It got a long way. Instagram still has a long way.
A long way to go?
Yeah, okay. A long way to go. Because it's being powered by people that still use it. So even if they get older, they're still users on it. Like I don't see, and I said this.
Yeah, but Facebook is too, no?
I said this 5 years ago too.
No, I'm saying Facebook still has 1.7 billion users.
It's not culturally relevant. It's not culturally relevant.
Yeah,
it had a lot of users.
It's not the
it's not the driving force behind culture. Instagram is still the driving force behind culture.
Instagram is the jellyfish.
I don't see that going away anytime soon because millennials they're not gonna change. They're gonna still use what they are comfortable using. Younger people might not gravitate towards it at the same rate as but there's a lot of millennials. That's the problem. Like people discredit. It's like music. Like young people matter, but
the tastemaker.
So do millennials. So do Gen X. They matter. They still spend money. They're still active. They're still there.
I'm not arguing that fact. I'm just saying I'm looking at the components that like what TikTok has done in terms of they could make an argument that they're moving culture, right? Because that audience,
on a certain level.
You see what I'm saying?
Snapchat's not though.
I didn't say they are. I'm saying that their population is young, right? And so if young people are there, then eventually they will dictate, right, what culture is at some point. And that's why I say it might be a trend. Now, maybe nothing happens. That might be true too, right? But I'm talking about a stock that during the pandemic was at its heights and now is sitting, almost feels like it's dormant at under $8 right now?
Yeah, I think it's probably at $7.79. You better call Mark Benioff for somebody.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see that. When I saw him on CNBC and he's doing an interview, I was like, that's interesting.
Fundraising. You got to be visible.
Just be mindful.
Snapchat was $75 in 2021. Now it's $7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's a reason
for it. Fall apart. Yep.
Yes.
Snapchat's not coming back from the dead. I mean, they're alive. They're not dead, but you don't after 10 years become the dominant force.
No, they don't. But that's what I'm saying. They don't have to be. Is what I'm saying. They don't have to be, but they can be attractive to somebody that says, "How do we get in this space with a platform that already has?"
If they're trying to build up another entertainment arm, I get what you're getting at.
You got a billion users, bro.
Yeah. Just the rebrand play never really works. Like they tried to rebrand. Always try to rebrand. Like the rebrand play. Once you have your moment, you got to keep that moment.
You got to take advantage of it and move faster. And also, too, it's that genius over there in Palo Alto, Mark Zuckerberg. Just
we'll be mindful.
Yeah, but I think both statements are true. Should Evan try and offload the company to Saudi? For sure. Prime time. Will it ever be Instagram? Nope. But is there value there? Yes. Do I think the stock will be great long term? Nope. Told you in 2020, 2021. This ain't the one.
Yeah. Our second episode, we're talking about this. And we're like, nah, we can't see this long term. And it's still here. And so once we've seen we've seen companies, especially in terms of the semis, go to Saudi to get investment. It was just interesting again to see him there and speaking so highly of the company and the expansion from the international standpoint of who's using it and what they're using it for. I was like, all right, I'm taking note. Put that in the top.
Market cap of Snapchat is 13.14 billion. Yikes. That's tough. Evan's a great CEO. I think just right time for the product. Like you said, Rashad didn't take full advantage. And you have a big ecosystem in San Fran with just a better CEO, better. Sheryl Sandberg was a hard out, yo. It's tough.
Yeah.
So how do you avoid situations like that? Because that's the benefit of investing in ETFs and index funds, right? But if you're investing in individual stocks, because that you can lose everything. If you had a large amount of money in Snapchat
and
at
it's a bunch of people who
$77,
did.
it happens. It happened in Enron. Happens in a lot of different things. A lot of companies, most companies don't do well in the stock market long term.
Yeah.
How do you avoid that type of situation where you literally could have lost everything? You could have lost your whole life if you invested heavily in that one company and you lost 90% on it.
Listen to me when I tell you not to do it. One, number two, market share. If a company doesn't have majority market share, and I've talked about this before, and mind share, when you think of social media, most people think of Facebook or Instagram. You don't want to invest in the fifth best thing there. No. If I talk to you about watching shows online, most people are thinking YouTube. I think Vimeo's dope. Vimeo's never going to be YouTube. So invest in the market leader, the mind share leader, and also just buy out of the Big Ten. If you just bought out the Big Ten since the 1980s, overall you'll be fine.
I think that's the key component here. Invest in the top companies.
Yeah, and not the third or fourth.
Top two. That's why I said understanding the indexes and understanding ETFs, you don't have to guess. You just look at where the top two allocations are.
Yep. You can make your own ETF and buy the top two in the space, but go with market leader. Like when I started screaming OpenAI after use product into 2021, yes, there are other players in the space, but they are the preeminent, put this in chat, preeminent mind share leader in that space. You have to invest with them. Were there other companies that may be more efficient than ExxonMobil in the 1980s? Sure. Exxon was the preeminent leader. Standard Oil was the preeminent leader in the 1920s. Like there's usually a company that runs the decade, invest in that company. And it's not like how it was in the 50s where this information was hidden. They're front running the IPO and telling you they're probably going to debut at $2 trillion. They're telling you it's right there. But then people will still be like, well, what do you think about Papa John's pizza? I'm like,
Papa
John's. Good business. It's not the sector to be invested in. Well, no. So
yeah, and it changes. I think that's the beautiful thing about when you look at the ETFs and indexes, the companies that are performing are going to be at the top. 3 years ago, right? I mean, when we started the show, we talk about ETF like XLK. The number 1 and 2 holdings were Apple and Microsoft, and they were both at 21% of the holdings. 21%.
Told you.
That's how dominant those two companies were.
A great company is going to. Like a short-term window for investing in a public equity is a 10-year hold. That's like a 1-year option. Like 10 years, they're gonna be fine.
And if you look at the ETF and the holdings now, Nvidia is number 1 in XLK at 15%, and I think Microsoft is at like 14, and Apple's 13. So the allocation of Apple has gone down. The allocation of Nvidia has gone up. Well, that tells you how the market is moving. Right, so
and if y'all had to listen back in 2021, 2022, you would have heard me scream that shit about NVIDIA too.
Yeah. And now Broadcom's number 4. It's like these companies that watch where the money's moving.
My new thing is if you don't listen the first time, you deserve to be broke. This go for my friends and family too. Hey, yo, dog, I know you just did Market Mondays, but can you tell me that? No.
What's next?
No. Me not giving you nothing. Respectfully. No. This Christmas, if you ain't listening, I'm bundling up all my notes from Market Mondays, fat ass stack of papers, and a stocking. Listen the first time.
The Master Investor Almanac. Got something.
Simon and Schuster.
We got something.
Thank you for that assist.
Claude, I want you to transcribe every episode.
For real, immediately.